Hey everybody, welcome to the 10 Count Podcast. I'm your host Andre. This is your Raw review show, which tonight's Raw was actually quite good. It was better than what they actually have put on within the last couple weeks, which is actually a real good thing for us fans because that shows that they're actually putting some time and quality and planning into doing their show, which the storytelling on tonight's show is actually quite good as well. So let's hop right into it. The show opened with a promo from CM Punk, which he came out there talking about how pissed off he was at himself, about how he should have known that Paul Heyman was a snake, was going to backstab him because he's done it before, which then of course Paul Heyman comes out. Then of course Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker come out winning. Then they're talking back and forth about how great Paul Heyman is, and then CM Punk about what a snake he is. Then Seth Rollins sent Bron Breakker to the ring to deal with Punk. So Breakker gets in there, they're fighting, Seth hops in, and of course we got some help coming from Punk, which was Sami Zayn. And once Sami Zayn got in there, of course, he got down, like they got him down, but then here comes Jay. Jay came in and they mixed it up. Then, of course, Seth and Breakker got the upper hand. And then here come Jay and Sami with the chairs. Okay, this segment was pretty good, so I gave it a A. Alright, then we went to match 1, which was Penta versus Gable, which I'm going to be straight up and honest with you. I'm really not liking this whole Gable as El Grande Americano. I'm not liking this whole thing at all because basically to me it just seems like it's a ploy to get some merchandising money for Chad Gable. That's what it really seems to me. Because this whole El Grande Americano should not drag it on this long. The only point that I can see, as I said, is just a merchandising ploy for Chad Gable to get some merchandising money. That's what it seems to me. But the match itself, I actually gave it a B because it wasn't anything really spectacular about this match. Besides the fact that Judgment Day came out sticking their nose into it as usual. But in the end, Penta ended up getting the win. Now there was a backstage segment with Judgment Day where they basically was talking amongst themselves. Finn and Dom decided to have a little discussion of their own on the side, and then that ended with Finn saying, let me go get ready for my match with AJ. Which then of course we saw the Judgment Day again in the backstage area where they were talking amongst themselves. Wasn't really nothing really too spectacular about that one, so that even deserved a grade. Then of course we went to match 2, which was the War Raiders versus American Made with the New Day on commentary. Now, of course, the New Day they did stick their nose in the match when the match went outside the ring. And as far as matches go, I gave this match a B because it was a very good tag match, but it wasn't anything too great about it. Was nothing really too great about it. American Made won this match. Then of course there was a backstage segment again with Seth and Braun, where Seth is trying to hype Braun up, and basically he whispers something in Braun's ear, which at the time we didn't know what that was, but we did find out later on in the show what that was. Then we had a promo, Jay in the ring basically talking about how he's in your city, he's the Royal Heavyweight Champion. He started to get into talking about Logan Paul, but then Gunther came out and he was talking about how after Saturday night's main event, the Jay defending the title against Logan Paul, that Gunther's got the winner of that match. and Gunther talking about he wishes that it's going to be Jay because he wants to show Jay what his place is, that he's not worthy of being world champion. And I'm like, okay, so Gunther really never got his rematch for the world heavyweight title, so he's going to get that match next month. I believe they said it was like the 19th of June, that the winner of Jay and Logan gets Gunther, which I do want to see that match again, like with those two. I do want to see it again because I'm quite sure that it's not going to be any way that they're going to make Jay drop that belt to Logan Paul, and I really don't think he's going to be dropping that belt to Gunther. I really don't, because it's going to be kind of crazy for them to give the title to him at WrestleMania. He have 1-2 defenses, and then they take it from him. I don't see that happening. At least that's just my opinion of the whole thing. I really don't see that happening whatsoever. But this is WWE we're talking about, so it may happen, it may not happen, but again, this is WWE that we're talking about. Now, there was supposed to be a backstage promo between Ludwig Kaiser, but then we found out what Seth Rollins whispered in Braun Breaker's ear. He told Breaker to take out Jay, which is what happened. But right before that segment, we had a tribute to Sabu, who basically passed away this weekend at the age of 60. Which, to speak a little bit on Sabu, I've seen a lot of Sabu matches in the original ECW, like before WWE bought him. But I saw a lot of Sabu matches, and Sabu was a great performer. Like, the bull went out there and just basically put his whole entire body on the line just so he can come up with a great performance. Sabu was that bull at ECW. He really was. Like, if you ask me, in my opinion, Sabu was one of the people in ECW that nobody wanted to wrestle. Like, basically, in my opinion, again, when the wrestlers came in and saw on the sheet who they was wrestling, whoever ended up with Sabu that night, he looked like, oh God, this is gonna be a long night. I'm just keeping it a beam with you because that's just how strong and how powerful Sabu was, and how feared he was because of the type of competitor that he was. Sabu was a great competitor. He really was. Now, we go on to match 3, which is Finn Balor versus AJ. Now, this match, I gave this match an A because Finn and AJ just went there and put on a banger. They really did. Like, I mean, the wrestling itself, of course, the storytelling and the drama, because they're building AJ up, I believe, to be the one to beat Dom for the Intercontinental title. But this match itself was extremely good match. It was one of the best matches I've seen on Raw, and I don't know, but they put on a nice banger. That's why I gave this match an A. Now, there was a promo in the ring, Becky Lynch, which I gave this promo a D because it's pretty much the same type of Becky Lynch promo. Go out there, go on a tear for a few minutes, and then leave the ring. So this was, to me, your typical Becky Lynch promo. So I really didn't see anything spectacular about it. I really didn't see anything too great about it. So I gave this promo a D. Now, I'm quite sure that people out there may disagree with me on my assessment of the show, but like I said, this promo was nothing spectacular, so I gave it a D. Now, we had a video promo with Rusev where he was out there talking about how his brothers, meaning other wrestlers, that he actually has to go out there and save them from themselves, that he'd rather be the one to put them down just so they can see that they were wrong in their whole approach. It was a okay video promo, so I gave it a C. Now match 4, which was the main event, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley versus Julia and Roxanne. Now, I'm going to say this here. Roxanne and Julia, they impressed me. They really impressed me in this match. They really did impress me because those two to be, I don't know how to say this part, maybe rookies for that matter, well, at least rookies to the main roster. They really went out there and showed that they belong on the main roster. They gave a performance tonight against two established veterans in Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. They gave a performance against those two that you would think that they belong in the whole main event. They really did. And basically, when it comes down to it, just like I said at the Backlash review show, women's wrestling and nowadays has stepped up big time. Now, when Vince was running WWE, you really didn't see women's wrestling be a factor. You didn't see it be anything but just a novelty, really. But in the Triple H era, women's wrestling is basically at the forefront. And for you to bring in two young talents like Roxanne and Julia and let them get in there with Io and Rhea, that was like, okay, I'm really liking that because it's showing that Triple H is trying to put focus on not just the men's side of things, but he's trying to put focus on the women's side of things as well, which is showing that he has more of a wrestling mind than what Vince did, if I'm saying that correctly. But at this point, it really don't matter what company it is, because WWE women and AEW women, they are killing it. They are really killing it. Like, again, as I said at the Backlash show, well, Backlash review, women's wrestling, and nowadays, the women are actually getting out there and showing the men, look, we can do this too. We can do this just as well and just as much on a high level as y'all do. And I really think that when it comes down to the future of things, like Roxanne and Julia, they are part of the future of women's wrestling. That's how much they impressed me with their performance in this match. They really did. Now, the actual end of the match kind of told something a little bit as well, because Rhea and Io, of course, they won the match, but Rhea sitting there staring at the women's world title like, yeah, I want that back. I'm going to get that back. So that's telling me that Io and Rhea's story ain't done yet. It's really not done yet, because those two are going to go at it again for the World Heavyweight title, the Women's World Heavyweight title. They are going to go at it again. Now, I can't say who's going to win that, who's going to lose that. I can't say that, because at this point with wrestling, trying to predict it is like nutty, because you may end up wrong. As have been seen on quite a few occasions of wrestling, women's wrestling, no, again, not women's wrestling, but as far as wrestling in general, with the trend that they're going for, they're trying to make it so that way, yeah, we're going to keep y'all on y'all heels. We're going to basically make it so that way y'all can't predict what's going to happen. So wrestling is becoming unpredictable again, and that's with any company, WWE, AEW, New Japan, AAA, all of them. Wrestling is becoming very unpredictable again. So with that being said, I look forward to see what happens in the future. Now, I would like to thank everybody that's watched my show, supported my channel, and I'm quite sure that there's things that I could be doing better. So I would like your comments to let me know what I could be doing better, what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. I would really appreciate that. So give me some comments, and of course hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel, because there's a heck of a lot more wrestling coming in your future. Thanks again everybody for watching, and I look forward to presenting the next video for y'all.